On our last segment, we did everything we needed to do to get our proper height for the extension shaft attached to the motor. In between that time, I've tightened the two set screws that are in the keyway, put the column on, and I've put our M8 bolts, lock washers, and flat washers in all four of the mounting holes that mount the motor to the 007 column, which has the M8 tapped holes. Now the next step is to make sure that that extension shaft stays centered while we go around just by hand right now and tighten the hardware. As I do that, sometimes when you tighten down on one side too much, it'll pull that column to the side. You just move it over a little bit, shift it, and again try to keep that center maintained. Take your combination wrench, 13 millimeter, and when you go to tighten now, you want to go back and forth just like you were changing the tire on your car. You don't want to tighten one bolt down all at the same time, and this gives a more balanced and uniform tightening procedure. Two of these bolts now have an L-shaped lug on there that we use to put a handle on. Now, not all models use the same mounting hardware for the handles, but this particular one, you want to mount those lugs on the side where the needle valve goes in. Once that's accomplished, we've got it all snugged up. We're ready to put our impeller on. 091 impeller. We're using an M6 stainless steel bolt with lock washer and flat washer. And you can use any type of tool. I just happen to have this T-handled Allen wrench that I put through. There's a hole through the center of the extension shaft and the column that'll hold that in place for you while you tighten down the bolt. Just snug that up until it tightens. You don't want to over tighten. And as long as we can turn that and we have clearance, the impeller is not rubbing on the bottom housing, we're good to go on that part. Then we have our 1-16 gasket and our 022 end plate, stainless steel end plate. Put that in place. These are also M6 stainless steel bolts with lock washers, and there'll be 5 of those on the bottom plate. And at the same time, while I'm doing this, I can see that there's clearance between this plate and that impeller, so it's not going to rub when the motor is turned on. We snug those up as well. And as long as I can turn that shaft in there, the impeller's not rubbing on the bottom of the housing nor on the end plate, we're ready for the next stage.